Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, Senior News Editor with Retail Insider. Joining me today is Lesley-Anne Scorgie, who is president of MeVest, also an author, speaker, and a personal finance consultant. Thanks for joining us today, Lesley-Anne.
Thank you so much, Mario.
Well, what an interesting time we're going through. Challenging time, stressful time for many people with the high costs of everything, inflation out there. What impact is that having, do you think, on consumers today?
Well, and we're also approaching the holiday season. So you layer that in, and it feels like a pressure cooker. Not only are the household costs for things like groceries, gas, even your cell phone bill, all of this is feeling like it's higher now. By the way, cell phone bills have actually not gone up nearly as much as other categories. But the point is that we're feeling the squeeze. Our money is going to it's spreading less to places that we had hoped it would go, and going into a high pressure season, not only financially, but emotionally. I actually think that we are getting into a season, no pun intended, where where retail consumers are thinking really carefully about their purchases. They are stepping back. They are looking at whether or not they can afford or not afford to make certain purchases. I think this consciousness is very good.
Well, it's kind of ironic, right? Because we've come out of a period with a pandemic where everybody said that people's savings skyrocketed because they weren't spending money on restaurants and travel and all that type of stuff. Where there was pent up demand, and the retail sector felt it and benefited from that splurge. And now, boom, reality is hitting.
That's right. I think all the savings is gone. I
Yeah.
think after the doors opened and the economy opened again, people, they really did spend big bucks on a lot of things. So what we know now is that there is a lot less in savings. If there was savings, it has been redirected to categories of the budget such as housing. And I'm speaking to all of those people who are on variable rate mortgages and who are being triggered to pay higher mortgage payments right now. Some families and individuals are seeing 30-40% higher on their grocery bills. Here's what I always say is a good place for people to start is if you're feeling the squeeze, you do need to kind of make friends with the budgeting process. And it does not help you at a time like this to be the ostrich with your head in the sand. It is helpful for you to be aware of all the costs flowing through your accounts, everything that you're earning, and we start with awareness, and then we work back on how do we shore this budget up.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Now, Lesley-Anne, we're going to ask you for some tips that you may have for people out there, especially as we head into this holiday season. The finance minister tells us we should cut our Disney Plus subscriptions. Any other fine gems that you might want to add?
Well, I actually think that by this point in our economic cycle, a lot of individuals and families have made those cuts. So they went in 3-4 months ago and they cut the subscriptions that they were not using. They are now looking at making choices around what do we spend money on, what don't we spend money on, and luxury items, all of those are starting to go away. You're starting to see people do things like purchase in the secondhand economy. So the secondhand economy is on fire right now. I love it. I think it's so cool. But you are seeing people make some of those changes. So let me give you a couple of my pro tips is, I don't even well before this recessionary period that we're in, I never stepped foot into a full cost grocery store, never. And I refuse to do it. So you can still eat well with a meal plan, with groceries that are in the discounted grocery store,
Yeah.
and reduce or eliminate food waste. So we actually know that meal planners are saving slash shaving 20 to 30% off their grocery bills right now, which is kind of cool, very frugal. We're seeing people get very creative. So this pressure cooker we're in is causing people to sell things that maybe they got during the pandemic. For example, I have a student that during the pandemic, she bought a like a trailer, a camping trailer for herself and her son. And well, like, I mean, everybody was in that position where we couldn't go on vacations. And you saw like RV and trailer sales go through the roof. She's turned around and sold that trailer, which is awesome, and hasn't lost a single dollar on it. And she's actually putting that money back into her pocket. So we're also seeing a trend where people are negotiating for higher salaries, raises and promotions. They are changing jobs because of the money. I think that's not a bad thing. And no surprise here, side hustles are like the big conversation. If you can have one, should you have one? The answer is now might be a good time.
All right. I'm going to talk about three different aspects of sort of the retail sector and that may be benefiting, well, not maybe, probably are benefiting right now. You did mention the resale area and you know, the value villages of the world. That whole industry has got to be benefiting because of these times, right?
Absolutely. So the secondhand economy, as we're calling it, is benefiting. And we're seeing people very consciously choose to purchase secondhand clothing, cars, electronics. You're even seeing organizations thrive on certified refurbished products. So, for example,
Hmm.
eBay, Amazon, Apple, all of those organizations are actually making a mint right now by having refurbished products. So that's kind of cool. You're seeing old things become new for somebody else. So I think that's an area that's going to continue to thrive. I even have one of my coaches, what she does, and they have money to spend, but what they're doing is for all of the gifts this holiday season, they're buying secondhand, and the difference between the raw retail price for a new versus the purchase price on secondhand, they're actually donating it. So they're making a family donation. Kind of cool.
Excellent. Okay. Second area I wanted to talk to you about is the discount area. So the Dollaramas of the world, the Walmart, they too have got to be benefiting right now.
They are thriving with a capital T. And I myself set foot in a dollar store recently, and I have two really tiny children, and I find there's so much in there that I can get for them at a reduced cost. And we're talking about, essentials. So when I think of that sector, you are seeing people turn to the discount stores to buy their essentials now. So those discount stores really made their name with things like I'm even thinking like party supplies, right? Like you think the dollar store, and you go there and you're buying the party hats and whatnot. People are going there to do a lot of their groceries and essentials, even like clothing replacement. So very cool. You're seeing that area thrive. And you know what? My son is wearing a hat from the dollar store, and it's totally fine. And he's
Yeah,
3 and he ruins hats all the time, but this is like the longest one he's had. So there you go.
there you go. Last thing I wanted to talk about is the area of, and I saw this in a survey, and memory fails me of who did this survey, but apparently coupons are huge right now.
Coupons are back, and I love it. So what's very cool is there's been a bit of a tech transformation in couponing and flyers. So you're seeing apps like Flip. They're like on fire right now, and people have those apps. And they're like aggregators where they're taking coupons and they're taking flyers and they're helping shoppers get their coupons and flyers organized through an app.
Yeah.
Coupons are like my grandmother, bless her late soul, was a coupon expert, and
Yeah.
she taught me to always look for the coupon and then take it to the store. I'll give everybody a tip here though, is sometimes you don't even need the coupon to do what you need to do. You can flash the coupon on your phone and have your retailer price match. So you're seeing
Yeah.
price
Yeah.
matching happen a lot right now. You're seeing it at the grocery store. Be the person who's taking the extra 30 seconds in line to do the price matching, to do the couponing. This is where you can really, really save money. And don't forget, there's digital and physical coupons.
True. Last question, Lesley-Anne. Best piece of advice you have for cash-strapped consumers heading into the spending time of the year?
Don't go into debt here. Really be creative. Have that frugal holiday season that's coming up. Steer clear of any kind of debt. We don't want any additional debt right now. So make that list, check it twice, slash it in half, and do what you can to stay on budget.
All right, super. Thanks, Lesley-Anne, for joining us again today.
Thanks, Mario.
All right, that was Lesley-Anne Scorgie, who is an author, speaker, and personal finance consultant, president of MeVest. I'm Mario Toneguzzi, senior news editor with Retail Insider. Thanks for joining us today.